In this lecture, I'm going to be talking about making sure you do not settle for who you really are in life. So much of the time, people spend a lot of time settling on who they really are. Or do you even know who you really are in this big world of 7.8 billion people? Well, I'm Lori Bolin. I'm the founder of I Thought Mind. I'm a medical intuitive and a vibrational intuitive trainer. And so this is a subject that I often hear a lot of is I keep settling for less than who I really am. And then I hear questions like, I don't really know who I am. Like, I think that who I really am is growing into different phases. So I want to break this down in this lecture. But before I begin, if this is your very first time ever watching one of my lectures, that means one of two things. Someone has shared this video with you, or you are a brand new Facebook follower of mine. I really appreciate it. I hope you will sit back and enjoy this lecture. My lectures last anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and what I like to do in every lecture that I do is give you information on whether it's personal development, giving you insight into what's happening in your world, and so you're in for a real surprise today. So many people walking this planet, especially right now at the time we are on this planet, are living for less than who they really are. So let's break down some of the signs that maybe you are actually living less than who you really are. So in order to do that, kind of identify who are you. So much of the time we're looking at who we are in different aspects. That would be if I pointed out that I'm a woman, okay? But I might not want to be called that. Someone might say I'm a Caucasian woman. I might not like to be called that. So I want you to look at who you really are is 7.8 billion people on this planet. We are all energy. And energy is who you are, but are you living less than who you really are? So think about this for a moment. So your energy can impact the whole entire world because it can connect through a Wi-Fi signal. And that Wi-Fi signal, our energy runs off of 100 trillion cells of consciousness. Yeah, think about that. You've got 100 trillion cells thinking, okay, consciously. And energetically, that means that your intuitive intelligence is communicating all the while who you really are. But so much of the time you come into a world of conformity, and that means society. What order do we live? So there was a time, based on me being a woman in history, there would have been things I wouldn't have been able to do. Vote, even have a word, speak, okay, wear pants, okay, let alone get a job that paid money. So we have layers when you are living less than who you really are. So think about this for a moment. Most of the people that watch my lectures are really looking at the lectures of how, Lori, as you are highly intuitive and a vibrational trainer, tell me what is the best way that I can live for me. And so what I want you to realize is that we're all energetic beings. So if you're wanting to attract the life that you want, okay, you should be coming from an energetic, creative level. When you're working with energy, that means that it's fun. But if you take a look at the world right at the moment and all of the things that are shifting and changing in the world, and everybody has, this is the right way to live, this is the wrong way to live, everyone has an opinion. Energetically, that means you are really starting to live less than who you are. So stick with me for a minute because this may be a hot button for some of you that might be like, wait a second, hold up, I'm not okay with this. So because we're energy, okay, our energy comes before there's ever an emotion, okay, before there's ever a thought, though most videos in personal development will say, hey, what you think about, you therefore will attract, okay, but you are already becoming less than who you really are. Some will say, okay, emotionally, which way you feel is how you perceive your reality, okay? You're already then living less than who you really are. So think about energy for a moment, okay? We have latent energy in our body, Okay, that latent energy should always be up there about 85%, and it absolutely creates you to be into a homeostasis, which means a relaxed state. Now, think about being in an argument with someone or a debate that's going on in the world right at this moment, because it's very easy to debate with someone, okay? So think about this for a moment. As you're doing that, you are actually lowering your homeostasis. Instead of being in a calm state, you are in an alert state of awareness, okay? So therefore, all right, you are already living less than who you are. So think about this as far as energy. So you are energy, and energy is fun. So everything that's going on in the world right now, to some people it may be a shocker in their awareness, but for most people, it's not a shocker in their awareness. And they say, okay, it's our time to start living our world differently. But think about this for a moment. If you are energy, and you are in a relaxed state, your awareness is wide open, so solutions come in for you. So pay attention, because your energy connects to 7.8 billion people on the planet through a Wi-Fi signal. If you allow yourself to have an emotion to that energy, therefore, it will lower your signal. It will only say, I only connect to these signals. So think about this. If you see hate in your world and you do not like it, you see dislike in your world, you see changes that need to be made in your world, okay? The minute you become aware of that, you must return back to being energy. Returning back to being energy then means I'm fully aware. I love to call this the Buddha place, where you become one with everything. Therefore, you can see the solution. Do you get that? What must be created. Now, I understand by the time we get into the division, which is what we are in a lot of places right now on the planet, we are in a division, whether it's COVID-19, it is everything that's going on in the world with racism, everything that's going on in the world where people are trying to be at peace, change things, monuments are being torn down because of what they represent. Okay, now think about this for a moment. If you see those monuments being torn down, they are not being torn down with complete joy. There are ones that are hating it. Do you follow me? Raging about it. And then as it's being torn down with joy, it takes more energy. Do you follow me? For you to do that. Now, pay close attention, because I said this is going to be a hot button for some of you. When we go back to energy and we are one with awareness of that energy, then pay close attention. Those monuments, those historical things, those things in the world that want to be changed and should be changed. I am not saying that they should not be changed, but they should be changed when it's pure energy. When you put a frequency to it, now pay close attention. You put a frequency to it. So now here I am, all right? I don't like when a person got murdered. There are people getting murdered every day, but I do not like that there are certain people in this world of different color that are being judged in a different way, okay? Because I don't like that, I have to then go back to energy to then be able to see a new way. Now, pay close attention, because when I see that, then you're putting a frequency to it. So think about something that you want to create for your life that might be happy. Maybe you want to create more money. Maybe you want to create a brand new home, okay? Maybe you want to create a world that isn't being policed, okay? Whatever it may be, all right? But when you start adding frequencies to it, if you pay close attention, if you are in a relaxed energy, homeostasis, calm state, you can become truly aware of so many things in your world that you will then tap into the 100 trillion cells of consciousness, and that intuitive intelligence will show you a brand new way. Do you follow me? But the moment you add a frequency to it, and you're adding this frequency to that, I see people even do this in relationships. You add a frequency to it, you're mad because either the person in your relationship isn't, you feel they're forcing you to live less than who you are. Maybe you're at a job that you feel like is making you live less than who you really are. Think about a lot of the African American community feels like for a long time they have been living half of who they really are. Okay, because they've had to be on alert So when we go into alert mode, so here we are, pure energy, then you are attached to your 100 trillion cells of consciousness. You are in a homeostasis. You will not get COVID-19 in a homeostasis. Do you follow me? In a relaxed state. But when you start to then affect your anatomic nervous system, so I'm going to use African American people right at this moment, okay? Especially African American men. Okay, so if we take a look at that situation, then they have been told a story, again, out of protection. So they live part of their life in their anatomic nervous system. The minute perhaps they see a police car or something like that, that all of a sudden they go into fight or flight mode. Sensory overload. Think about this for a moment, that it could be in a relationship for you that this happens. Then you're adding a frequency to that, which is actually burning more of your energy. And as a result of that, you are getting a life that is less desirable. But now pay close attention. So let's say for right at this moment, you're pure energy, you're relaxed. Now you've seen all of this terrible stuff that's been going on in the world right at this moment, and you definitely are part of Black Lives Matter, okay? So now you're part of Black Lives Matter. And again, this may be hot buttons for some of you guys that have maybe not lived in such a Zen state, okay? But I want to educate you because you're going to do so much better just having this education, okay? So let's say right at this moment, I see what's going on, Black Lives Matter, okay? And therefore, my anatomic nervous system, okay, is now so focused, so charged up because I saw the video, okay, of what went on with George, and even one that just recently just happened, okay, and things like that. So therefore, now I have a feeling about it. I'm angered by it. So then I'm taking my energy and I'm placing a frequency on it called anger. So now I'm petitioning and I'm running around and I'm part of the Black Lives Matter. Okay, now stick with me, all right? So now you're a part of that, and therefore I'm thinking, all right, great, we've now made the leeway. So let's say that everything that everyone wants, part of that, and next thing you know, okay, policing situations are different, everything is different. But when you add a frequency to it, this is how patterns keep coming around in the world. So if you kind of recognize, all right, for some of you guys, this may be a hot button, but you know, for the LBG community, okay, the Me Too movement, all right, the African-American people that have been prejudged, you name it, and everything, it's because what happens, people, is that you are getting into this frequency and it creates a pattern. So it'll move on to the next thing. It'll move on to the next thing. It'll move on to the next thing. Do you get that? So pay close attention. If everybody in the world was watching this video right at this moment, okay, what I would recommend that you do, okay, is sit back. All right, and there's the beautiful thing about being energy is that not only can we connect with 7.8 billion people on the planet because we can connect through Wi-Fi signals, we can connect in the whole universe. So think about this right at this moment. If you're connecting with your energy, you have the ability to connect with Martin Luther King that would have a lot of insight. Okay, all of this information could now generate the awareness of how the shifts and changes need to happen. But when you are in a frequency and then you add the frequency of something that is negative, do you follow me? Then you think, okay, we finally got to this, but then there's going to be another thing, and there's going to be another thing, because when you're living in frequency conformity, it is a pyramid. So the more you get up to the top, there's less people, and those people are going to be willing to do anything to fight all the other people and keep them down and keep them down and keep them down. Okay, do you follow me? But if you live in a world that is round, where everybody is equal, everyone is equal in the world because everyone is energy, okay? So you've heard most of the time saying like, okay, meditation is it. I taught meditation for over 25 years. What you want to be able to do is just get into a nice, calm homeostasis. If you are aware right now in your life, if you're in a relationship, you are being judged, whatever it is, if you are at a job and you're not getting paid the right amount of money that you want in your life, okay? If you are feeling frustrated because, you know, the way that the environment used to be before COVID-19 isn't the way it is right now, okay? If you're someone fighting on, is it all lives matter? Is it Black Lives Matter? Okay, if you are in this divide, you are adding frequency divisions, which means that it is taking your energy and lowering it down. And as a whole entire world, the world will suffer. Do you follow me? Because it's called the yin and the yang. So when you're looking at that, you must cancel everything out. Now, I know for a lot of you, it will seem like I'm doing nothing. I need to be doing something. What you must do, because we're all energy, the very first thing you want to be able to do, even the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning, because it's the highest point for consciousness, okay, is to sit, breathe, relax, get into a nice homeostasis, and then you want to start to tune into that energy. Okay, most people are spending their energy by this is what I want to do. I want this out of my life, or I want to control this, or I want to debate this. Is this right? Is that wrong? Whatever. Okay, the more you do that, the more frequency that you are generating, which means you're burning up your energy. And your energy is your creative power to really make a difference, really make a difference. So think about this right at this moment. Every single person in this world has an amazing capability, has an amazing power, that's an energy that can create a whole brand new world. I know I've spent a lot of time for over the last 30 years. This is how I was able to get a second chance from a terminal illness. This is how in my world, I keep generating a world, okay, that is of peace, and whatever comes to me is what I then relay. So think about this for a moment, okay? There have been a ton of people that are now starting to become aware of what's called the talk, okay? Like, I didn't know this. Now, I knew this, okay? But a lot of people go, I didn't know that, you know, African-American boys their fathers or mothers would give them the talk. Do you get that? So when you become aware of something, all right, now there are a lot of people that are becoming aware and they are getting immensely emotional about it. But you don't want to repeat the pattern. The idea here is to understand that you are energy. So where your energy flows is where you will go. So if you want to live in a world that is peace, that everyone is equal, okay, and I often say this, listen to the children. The children will tell you because they want to still live in this world. Do you follow me? So instead of fighting, instead of debating, instead of living less than really who you are, sit back and really tune into that energy. If you are really feeling right at this moment, it's very hard for me to just relax because I'm so wound up. I'm in an environment that is not very good for me, okay? Then I'm going to encourage you to start making the steps as much as you can to start to make yourself get into that nice homeostasis. Change is coming, but do you want the change to be a repeated pattern in some way that it now affects some other situation? I would think you don't. If you are wanting to create a life that is so wonderful that everyone has the same ability to create magic, do you get that? Then I encourage you, all right, start taking the steps to start working with energy and less about how you feel, okay, and even more about what you know, what words, what logic you know. Some of the most successful people I have helped train, and I've said, the more logic and knowledge that you have, it will not be your friend because the more you will want to cling on to that frequency. So energy, I often say, is the breath of life. Breathe in it quietly and stillly, and everything will be as it should. A world of peace, a world where everyone is equal, equally the same. There is no more stories. There is no more feelings. Do you follow me? All there is contentment. As the man sat under the tree, he looked up at the tree and realized with contentment, all things are equally as beautiful. And so I know that they are all created by the universe. So the next time when you want to use your words, okay, to prove something, or you want to use your words because you want to feel like someone feels that you're accepted, okay? I'm done with this, I'm knowledgeable, I want this, I want that, whatever. That's a sign that you are being less than who you really are. If you are allowing yourself to let your emotions run the show, and right now you're emotionally not feeling there, okay, and you say, well, if I have all this, I'll be happy, or if this person does this, you are allowing yourself to be less than who you are. You are the breath of your life. You are the energy of your life. Now it's time to start breathing without disruptions of frequency, without power. Energy power is the beauty of creating a world that you know ahead of time what's to come, and you change it before anything bad ever happens. When's the last time somebody did something for you, okay, and you forgot to even recognize it, but now later on you recognize it and they did not point it out to you. They did not say, this is what I've done for you. Okay, and appreciated that. So when's the last time you used your energy to be really who you are, to start creating a world that is in harmony? So I ask you, okay, pay attention. If you are living less than who you are, okay, you have the choice to stop doing that. You have the choice to start breathing life into a world that can be of peace, in a world where there doesn't have to be an order in anything. There doesn't have to be victims. There doesn't have to be crimes. There doesn't have to be people being told stories so that they can be safe, okay? There are people in a world that are living in a frequency that there's going to be good and bad, but you have a choice. You don't have to live in a world that's good or bad. You can live in a world that is peaceful. It starts with owning your energy, being truly who you are. Believe it or not, all you got to do is breathe life into it, and you see this every single night when I go to sleep. I'm breathing life into so many people's lives that I know, because I'm an extension of them, as we're all connected together, that maybe my breath will be the one that gives them the awareness to be able to start breathing from energy and making the difference, to not support a world with frequency, where again that frequency will start to get you, the lower that frequency, it will get you to do things you never thought you would do. Do you get that? And believe it or not, always those that are controlling it the most at the top are wanting you to use your frequency. They want you to use your words. They want you to use your feelings, because they don't want you to know what gift you have, the breath of life to actually change things ahead of time, way ahead of time. So I encourage you, as a vibrational intuitive trainer and a medical intuitive for over 30 years and the founder of I Thought Mind, I ask, why don't you make a pledge today? Start breathing, get into homeostasis. You don't have to share words with anyone. You don't have to share a feeling with anyone. And the next thing you know, you're gonna find out that you're gonna live in a whole different other world that isn't gonna take a long time. It isn't going to have pandemics in it. It isn't not going to have innocent people being murdered. It isn't going to have children starving in it. It isn't going to have women being raped. It's not going to have any of that in it. Just imagine a life without that, where you don't have to lock a door. There's no reason to have locks on a car, because everyone is energy, so anyone can create anything in their life. If you don't think you can, it's because somebody distilled words in you or a feeling in you to believe that it's not possible. But it is possible. You are possible to breathe life into your world and breathe life into others. So I encourage you, start doing that, relaxing, breathing life into it, okay? You don't have to give an opinion on anything. Why would you want to live in a world of opinions, okay? You go to sleep tonight right before you go to sleep, because that's the ideal time for subconscious. Breathe life into everyone that is sleeping. Breathe life that they will have the awareness at that moment to breathe deeper, instead of using the actions that will support nothing but a world of frequency. And in that frequency, nothing good comes out of it, okay? There's always someone that will suffer because of that. So I ask you, take me up on this challenge. Start to work with energy. Start to understand it more, and less about the emotions, less about the words, okay? Less about trying to prove something. You get that? Because if you have to prove something, then it must mean that you believe there are things that you must need to know. You don't need to know anything other than you have the breath of life and you can create from that energy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lecture today, and I hope you will listen a little bit more before you start going in and creating more frequency of strife, okay? You have the power, you do. Time to make the change in the world that is 2020, okay? Much love, guys, from my heart to yours. Thanks so much for taking the time out to watch this video, all right? I hope I'll see you on future lectures. If you really resonated with this video today, I encourage you, go ahead, give me a heart emoji. If you feel good enough, make a comment down below, all right? Turn on your notifications if this is your first time ever watching one of my lectures. I hope you'll enjoy it enough to come back for future ones. Again, I'm Lori Bolin, founder of I Thought Mind. Much love from my heart to yours. Bye for now.